So they've got like crazy ice storms up in Nashville, home for us. Says, you know what, we got to run away. So we decided, let's hit Florida. It was like a last minute thing. So naturally, if you come to Florida, you got to stop at Garlits' Museum of Drag Racing. And if I come here, I have to visit this particular car because I have a history with this thing. And this is its current caretaker, Rajan. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? Is this the coolest Mopar ever built, or
Well,
probably the coolest car ever built?
That's one of the top, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's not for everybody. People like, the wing cars and everything. But for me, the postcards, you had a postcard.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And the four doors. So this is one of two four-door, wait, there's more to this story. But officially, this is one of two four-door 1966 Hemi Coronets. We'll get to all of that in a second. I know you have to run.
Yeah, but that's fine.
You're good? Okay. So here's the story with this thing. 1985, I'm the technical editor for High Performance Mopar magazine, and we get a copy of the roster of all of the Hemi cars produced, known to be produced at that time. So it was like 1,000 of this, and 400 of this, and 32 of that, right? And stuck there in the list were two 1966 four-door Coronets. So I see this and I'm like, you know what I mean? This is like the holy grail of cars to me, right? So I wrote in a column, I did a column in the magazine, and I says, if anybody knows what happened to these cars, give me an idea, I want one of these. So I said, this is 1986, 1985, 1986. A couple of weeks later, in the mail, I get an envelope, and it's got photographs of two four-door Coronets, a white one, this one, and a red one, which now belongs to a guy in Las Vegas. More on him in a second. It's a legit Hemi car. Pictures of all of the telltale stuff. So how do you tell a legit Hemi car without looking at the numbers? I'll go through this for you real quick. Right? So the first thing pops out, in a 1966, and only a 1966 Hemi car, you have this bracket right here. So this bracket holds the horn relay and the starter relay. And these two items are usually on the firewall right underneath the bulkhead connector. So because there was no room with the Hemi valve cover, 1966, they relocated these solenoids to this bracket. So it's a 1 year only. So right away, you pop the hood on a 1966 car. And again, see, this wasn't in somebody's, this wasn't like in a collection. It wasn't a pristine car. This was somebody's old daily driver that they just left on the side of their house. When I first saw pictures of this thing, it was just sitting behind a low chain link fence with weeds growing up around it. It had been abandoned. Not abandoned, but just taken out of service and forgotten about. Other telltale things, if you're looking at a car, you want to identify, is it a real Hemi car? I mean, just right off the bat, you've got the transmission cooler. There's, for automatic cars, this is an automatic, it has this transmission cooler over here. If you come down here, you see the Hemi K-frame. Remember, Hemi uses special motor mounts because of the exhaust manifolds. The regular B engine motor mounts won't clear. So the Hemi has a special K-frame, and it also has a skid plate right here. And then also all Hemi cars came with a sway bar. And this thing, of course, has 11-inch drum brakes, because what else would you have on a zero-option car? And that's one of the other things that like really hits the jackpot for me on this car, is zero option. This was ordered for the FBI, right?
Yes, sir.
And then ended up in private hands.
Yeah.
And then ended up in the...
After that, I got the museum.
So when they ordered this car, it was an FBI ordered car, and just zero option. They didn't check anything off except the 426 Hemi. And of course, there are the other things, other telltale things. A Hemi unibody is different than a standard unibody. It has torque boxes, which tie the leaf spring area in with the rocker section of the car, which is actually the frame rail on the unibody. This also has a reinforcement over the pinion snubber. They put an extra piece of steel there so that, they knew what was going to happen with this thing, so to keep the pinion snubber from coming up through the floor, they reinforced it. There's lots of little telltale things that make a Hemi car very distinct. It has a 3/8 fuel line. All of the other cars have a 5/16 fuel line. Hemi cars have a 3/8 fuel line, and it uses a different clamp to hold it to the rocker than other cars do. So there's not thousands, a bunch of little details you go through it. But this car right here, so back to what I was saying. These cars show up. I didn't have the cash, the place, or the timing to buy one, but I wanted one in the worst way. We published a story about finding these cars on High Performance Mopar. A couple of weeks after that magazine hits, I get pictures of a brown one This one is same exact configuration, bare stripper, 66 Coronet, but it has a WO style hood scoop on it, which would be like from a 1967 Superstock package car, so somebody added it afterwards. So, and that car had all of the telltale stuff. So now we've got the two that were officially on the list, and then one that nobody knew about up in Canada. Then I get pictures from Finland of a white 67 Satellite or Belvedere. It was a Belvedere. It was a Belvedere, a low trim car. Same situation. Factory 426 Hemi has all of the telltale things. And then a couple of years ago, I'm going through the HAMB. There's a message board called the HAMB. And somebody did a deal in four-door Hemi cars and claimed that his mom had one. And this guy had Polaroids of himself when he was like, 2 years old, 3 years old, sitting on the hood of this car, and then shots of the car with the hood open, and you can clearly see it's a four-door, and his mom is bent over the radiator, lashing the valves on a 426 Hemi. So it was like, there's more to these cars than just the official two, and this is one of the official two. They're out there. There's rumors of a station wagon, lots of them. But see, this is the kind of stuff that really, talk about muscle cars, not race cars and shit, but just muscle cars. This is the kind of stuff that really floats my boat. Thanks for letting us get at this thing.
Pleasure.
Do you think I can sneak it out?
I don't know. You have to talk to Chuck about it.
But you guys did a beautiful job restoring this thing. You know what? Someday I will own this car. Nah, I don't want to.
Maybe clone one.
It's too valuable, But I would clone this in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, this you cannot drive that.
Yeah.
That's a trailer queen.
Yeah. And it should be. This really is an irreplaceable piece of history.
Yeah, that's history, yeah.
But that's it. I figured we'd just show you guys the one that got away. All right?
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Ready?
Yeah.
So give me some.
Stomach.
Yeah, I'm working.
Get second one.
I worked 50 years on this.
That's it.
Action.